Welcome to Surfing in My 40s. I'm 49 right now, just turned. But this is what you got to do if you want to surf in your 40s. Soon to be 50. But after this workout, we're going to get to it on an awesome Quiver review. All right. My very modest Quiver. I got 5 boards that I use. Some of them are new. Some of them are old, but they're old/new. They've been recently added to the Quiver. Just really briefly, we'll go into a little bit more in depth. But this is the Hipto Crypto. This is my performance winter board with the pintail. This is the daily driver, the 5.9 Seaside. My beautiful green 5.8 Seaside. I really love this board. I love this color. That's probably stayed with me the longest. This is the new pickup, the Rusty 6.6. It's called a Chew Toy. This is a really old board, but I needed something mid-lengthy, but still performer shortboard for the winter. And then lastly, I got this 7S Fish. And it's kind of a beater board, but it works. Had some good rides on this, so I'll save that for the small days, or for the lazy days. So this is my Quiver currently. I probably have like 2 boards here that are pristine condition, the Hipto and the green Seaside. The rest of them are just they're not the most prettiest boards, but they work. All right, let's talk about it. All right, we're going to talk about it, but we have to do a voiceover because I was having some technical sound issues. So yeah, we're going to have to make do with this. And so that's my Quiver behind me. It's a really good Quiver. I'm pretty happy with all of the boards that I have right now currently, but as you see me walking there, we're going to start off with my 5.8 Seaside. Isn't this board beautiful? I love this board. It's the prettiest board I have. I don't like to ride it often because I don't want to have wear and tear on it. I want it to look pristine for as long as possible. So yeah, I enjoy riding this board, but it kind of sits on the shelf a little bit. I take it out sparingly because I just want it to look pretty. But yeah, this 5.8 board paddles well. In the summertime, I like to grovel with it. It's truly a one-board Quiver. Some people say the Hipto Crypto is a one-board Quiver, but I think the Seaside is definitely a one-board Quiver. If I were to get rid of all my boards and just keep one, it would be that green board right there. It might be a toss-up with the other Seaside that I have, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, the Seaside is your daily driver and turns really well. So here's a video clip real quick, and just shows you the kind of turns you can do on this board. It's kind of like a cool little short board in a fish package. Now what's confusing about my Quiver is right next to my 5.8 Seaside is the 5.9 Seaside. And I wasn't really planning on getting 2 Seasides, but I just happened upon this on Craigslist. I think what made it cheaper is there's a little tiny little ding on the front nose on the bottom. So it was like $300 for this amazing board. It's in really good condition. So I got it. It's 5.9, 37 liters. I used to have a 5.9 Seaside before, and I really regret selling it because even though it's just 1 inch bigger than the green board, this board paddles better. I like to take this board out when I'm not feeling myself and not feeling a little bit old and run down. I take this board out. But even though it has more liters, man, this board can turn. This board is like a powerhouse, and you can catch a lot of waves on it and do some really good turns on it too as well. And because it's older, I don't mind taking it on like surf trips or vacations. I don't mind if it gets scratched. Doesn't mean that I don't care about the board, but it's just kind of, it's not as pretty as the green board, so I like to take it. It's kind of like my daily driver. I kind of ride this board probably like 70 or 80% of the time. And so it works out well for me. I love this board. It's time to move on to my winter board. This is my Winter Blade, the 6.0 Hipto Crypto. This board is truly, truly amazing. If you've seen my other vlogs, I keep saying this, but I've had my best turns on this. It's probably because of the pintail. The front of the board is shaped very similar to the Seaside, but a little bit more narrow. So you can get a lot of turns, but it has good paddle power. The pop-up is smooth. I want to say on the Hipto Crypto, my pop-up percentage of getting up and not falling, it's like 98%. I hardly fall on a pop-up on this board. But what I really love about it is the turns that you can do. This is probably the best turn I've ever done on this board, on a very steep wave there too. One more little turn off the top, but yeah, this board can turn. If you want to like pretend you're John, you don't need to buy a Paizel, which are very expensive, by the way. I've been trying to land a Paizel and I can't get the right price, but get a Hipto Crypto. And just so you know, it doesn't pressure dent that much. I've seen some that are really beat up, but I don't know. I don't think I'm heavy-footed because when I ride this board, I have not added any additional pressure dents to it. I think it's very sturdy. And so, yeah, I like this board. I wouldn't say it's a one-board Quiver, but I definitely take it out on good days. All right, on to the next board, a 6.6 rusty. Man, I forgot the name of this board, but don't you love that logo? Brings me back to the 90s, man. Everybody was wearing Billabong and Rusty shirts back in the 90s, and it's kind of cool to have this board. But I got this 6.6 because in the wintertime, sometimes the waves are huge, and you just need some paddle power, and that's what the 6.6 is for. I don't like the thruster setup. I have ridden this board already, and if I'm going to ride it, or the next time I ride it, I'm going to switch it to quads. The thruster just goes so slow. I'm not a big fan of the thruster setup. But it rides really good. As I was saying, I bought this board for big waves, but here I am kind of on a grovel session. But this board handled the little tiny waves. I think it was like 2 foot that day. So I'm really glad I have it. I'm going to say this board is probably not going to stay in my Quiver, but I'll keep it. I'll try to keep it for the winter time when there's a lot of paddling and you just need a lot of float to be out there. All right, last but not least is the 7S Fish. This is my mid-length. It's a little bit of a beater board, quad fin, but I took this out recently and it looks ugly. It's not a show board by any means, but man, this board is amazing. You got to have a mid-length somewhere in your Quiver because some days it's small. Some days are not as serious. Some days it's just like family and kids are out with their foamies in the summertime. And I hate foamies. So might as well have a board that can kind of turn when you're out there on the non-serious 1 foot days. And so this was actually, I think, like a 2 foot day. And I caught like 7 or 8 waves in this session in like an hour and a half. And so that's why you want a mid-length, because they just catch waves. They're just super fun, especially the 7S Fish. I don't think they even make this board anymore, but it's a great board. It's a must-have in the Quiver. It'll collect dust though, for sure, because I love my short boards, but you got to have your mid-lengths. That's my Quiver, folks, and 49 years old. This is the last year surfing in my 40s. Thanks for being on this journey with me, and thank you for watching.